Welcome along to the Make It Count podcast. My name is David.
My name's Matt.
And we are the Taylor Bros.
Smoother entry this time.
Yeah, we get to do this. More practice, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
So, today the mindset shift that we're talking about is...
The mindset shift is, if only... to next time... If we thought of a smoother entry, I could have been like, oh, if only last week we'd done this. Oh, but next time we'll do this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that gives a better idea as already you guys now know what we're talking about.
Yes. So, an example of this might be...
So, yeah, again, one of the things that I noticed in the interim is this is a reactive mindset to a proactive mindset shift. So it's often we let ourselves off the hook with victim kind of statements of, if only the bus had arrived on time, I would have been here on time. Or if only they had followed through, then it would have been all right. But next time statements are very much more like, oh, well, next time that problem comes up, this is what I could do, or this is what I will do to counteract it. And it's kind of getting towards that idea of those who really want something to happen, make a way to make it happen. But often we let ourselves off the hook with well, it wasn't. If only that happened.
Yeah. And I suppose the if only to me sort of seems like a regret, a rumination, a past focused.
Yeah.
It's I regret that this happened. If only this hadn't happened, or I hadn't done this. It's not even necessarily, we regret our own decisions. If only I hadn't chosen to go there, or I didn't accept that job, or I didn't stay here that long, whatever it is. But there's also that rumination on the past. And it's like, well, at some point, we have to find a peace and acceptance with that before we can have the, hey, next time. Because actually, if our mind is always being pulled to the past, if only this hadn't happened. And sometimes it's about things that, happen in the world. I wish this hadn't happened. If only this hadn't happened, what would the world be like?
Yeah.
But sometimes, more often probably, it's mostly the things that hurt in our lives. I wish this hadn't happened. This was so painful. This was so difficult. And then, like you said, there has to be can we shift from that if only to the next time? Well, yeah, this did happen. So next time, I need to learn this lesson. But that's quite a difficult one as well.
It is. I'm thinking of a couple of examples, both from when I was at university. One was, when I first joined a football team at university, played a couple of matches, and then I sprained my ankle. 18 years old. So I was like, by next week, it'll probably be all right. And by next week, I was feeling all right. Second half of the week, I hadn't been feeling any pain, walking around and stuff. But of course, playing football on boggy pitches in mid-November is different than just walking on a flat pavement. So I played the next game and I sprained it again. And then I played a couple of weeks later and I sprained it even worse. And it was easy for me in the sort of following months to go, oh man, if only I hadn't been so stupid and played on it and thought I was okay. Well, the clear lesson easy is next time I'm even a little bit concerned that my ankle is not there, I won't play on it. But it was easy for me because I was out for 6 months basically whilst it properly recovered. It was very easy for me to ruminate, if only I hadn't replayed on it. And that was, that wasn't
on it twice.
Yes. And so clearly it was a lesson that I hadn't picked up after the first time. And hence, if only I'd been even cleverer the second time. And I was slow to that lesson, but ruminating on it didn't actually help me. And it was a next time I will not play on that ankle when it's injured. Yeah,
and I suppose that's a really good example of where this works because it's quite a specific situation.
Yes.
Playing football, injured, don't do it. I've learned that lesson, so next time, if I'm injured, I'm not going to play because actually, if I do play, I might be injured for 5 months and miss 25 games instead of 2 games while I'm recovering properly. The problem I see with that is that life is not often like that.
Yes.
That there are things that hurt in our lives in the past that come up and we can learn the wrong lesson or too specific a lesson or too general a lesson. And so we misapply. I don't do that because this one time this thing happened and everyone's like, yeah, but that was that one person in that one situation. You can't apply that to everyone forever.
That's true.
And so And the next time, I think, can be really hard to find in a healthy way, because life isn't like repeating the level one, like, oh, this situation happened. Next time, I'm going to do something different. Well, next time at job, you're going to be in a different job with different people and, a different business or whatever. And so... Yeah,
I was thinking exactly that when my other example came to mind was in my third year, I was part of a, individual project, effectively like a thesis, but it wasn't. It was an engineering sort of project, and it wasn't that great. It wasn't that amazing. I didn't really like the subject, and I didn't find the tutor all that helpful. And so I had a couple of friends from the year above that said, oh, well, they'd asked for a change to a different tutor and a different subject, and they really enjoyed it. So I was like, wow. They always say that the biggest regrets in life are the ones that you don't take, aren't they? So I was like, well, I asked for a remove. And I got moved to an even worse discipline. I did not like, it was materials. It was researching cracks in metal. And the tutor was even worse, more grouchy, less helpful. And so I kept thinking that, oh yeah, man, if only I'd stayed, because the group that I had moved from actually did a fairly interesting, not amazing, but a reasonably standard, interesting project, and they did well. And I was like, oh, if only I had stayed. I'm thinking, well, when am I next time going to be in that situation? I don't think I have been yet, and I don't know if I will be. So I don't know what the next time is, other than just to sort of stop moping about that and just like get to, well, next time I'm in a situation where I have an opportunity to jump or not, well, maybe, I don't know, just take a little bit more time to think, well, what are the potential downfalls if it doesn't go so well? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's next time, think about not that it just might be greener, what is the potential cost?
Yeah, it might be completely dry and barren on the other side of that fence.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the challenge in that situation, because it's the first time you were working at that level, so really, you didn't know. Actually, you were probably in a slightly above average group, and then you went to a below or a poor group, Yeah. And actually, you thought initially, I'm not quite where I want to. Maybe I'm in a below average group. And the idea of jumping meant, hey, I'd only jump up.
Yeah.
Being contemplated that maybe, the classic out of the frying pan into the fire sort of thing.
Sure.
I made this worse.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Worse. And I think part of it is I'm judging that decision based on it was the outcome. And there was elements of, it wasn't my, if it was a, should I have joined that group? I didn't have the choice of which group. I just said I could put a submission in to change. So again, it's a unique experience. The where this phrase sort of couplet came from for me, I was reading or listening to, it was a therapist, and he basically was talking about when people came to him to talk like they wanted to work with him, he was listening for these little word cues. If it was all about, oh, if only this and if only that and if only that, he was like, I'm not going to work with you, because he realized they were at that point in a victim mindset and they weren't willing to take responsibility for their part in their transformation. And that's why he was looking for, if we can't get them to, I don't know how many sessions he gave before he said, you're not ready to, but if we can get them to next time I will do this, or next time this, that was just an energy shift, a bit like last time, or a mindset shift of, I'm not going to necessarily learn the correct lesson, but it's, I'm willing to take responsibility for my actions or for what. Yeah.
And I think that's that, if only, and really there is that passive bit of it where it's just, oh, this happened to me.
Yes.
It definitely in that context of his therapy, he's dealing with people's past, and actually they're unable to reframe that to say that they had any part in it.
Absolutely.
It's easier to go, no, this happened to me.
Yeah.
Or, and so that's quite interesting from that context of it.
Yes.
So anyway, we hope you found some value in today's episode.
Yeah. If only we could have done a better job.
Yeah, I could have told more stories. More than 0.
Well,
next time
we're going to be talking about
story.
next time next time on the Make It Count podcast. That's a different kind of next time.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We're not becoming a serial whatever it is, hit storytelling podcast.
Oh, no.
But maybe we will. Next time we'll be better. Anyway.
Next time we'll be better. That's a real specific lesson right there.
What are you guys going to do next time? You're tempted to think, if only this had happened.